10 times. Scotland have played Brazil 10 times, and yet they have never, not once, beaten them. But tonight might just be different. Because for the first time in their history, Scotland are 90 minutes away from the knockout stages of a World Cup, and the only thing standing in their way is Brazil. So welcome back to Football Untold, where we tell you the stories behind the sport we love. Now today, we are breaking down Brazil versus Scotland, the history, the players, and the stats. So stick around. Okay, so let's start with the history. Because this isn't a new rivalry, it's an old wound for Scotland. 74, their first World Cup meeting, a 0-0 draw. And honestly, Scotland were the better side that day. They just couldn't find the goal. Then 1982, and this is the one Scottish fans still talk about. David Narey, out of nowhere, smashes one in 25 yards to put Scotland 1-0 up against a Brazil team that had Zico, Socrates, Falcao, some of the greatest players to ever play the game. They called it pulling the tiger's tail because Brazil woke up and won 4-1. Ouch. Then 1990, they lose 1-0 to a late goal. 1998, they take the lead through a John Collins penalty against Brazil of Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, before losing 2-1 to a cruel own goal. So that's the pattern. Scotland turn up, they compete, they sometimes even score first, and Brazil win anyway. 10 meetings, 0 Scottish wins. Now, let's talk about right now. Group C. This is the final group game for both teams. Brazil are top with 4 points, win or draw, and they're almost certainly going through as group winners. Scotland are third on 3 points. And here's the thing, they're chasing something they've never done in their entire footballing history, getting out of the group at a major tournament. Now let's look at the teams. Brazil, managed by Carlo Ancelotti. Yeah, that Ancelotti. Up front, they've got Vinicius Jr., who's in the form of his life and one of the favorites to win the Golden Boot. And then Neymar's back for what could be his 4th and final World Cup. On paper, this is frightening. Scotland, on the other hand, captained by Andy Robertson, 92 caps, the heartbeat of the team. John McGinn alongside him. But the man who makes them tick is Scott McTominay. The Napoli midfielder is the engine. Big, powerful, and he scores goals that matter. If Scotland are going to do something special, it runs through him. Stats-wise, it's a mismatch. On paper, Brazil have the firepower, the pedigree, 5 World Cups in the cabinet. Scotland, they've got grit, a brilliant manager in Steve Clarke, and absolutely nothing to lose. And sometimes that's the most dangerous thing in football. So, here's what I think. I think Brazil's quality tells in the end. I'm going 2-1 Brazil. But I genuinely think that Scotland score, and I think they make it uncomfortable for Brazil. But what about you? Do you think tonight's finally the night Scotland break their curse against Brazil? Or does the Seleção cruise through? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Now, if you enjoyed this, do me a favor and hit subscribe to Football Untold. We break down the biggest stories and the games every single week. I'll see you next one.